I'm Ginger. And you're Lovey. And you're Gilligan.
I'm not Gilligan.
You are
I'm
Gilligan.
Thurston Howell the
Or
third.
the skipper.
You're Gilligan.
You don't have to explain because I've never watched
I'm not
Gilligan's
Gilligan. Gilligan wasn't very cerebral.
It's impossible to explain Gilligan's Island, Janet. You just have
But
to
you knew the
see it.
characters.
I know some of it, but I don't know.
But you never watched it?
No.
Well, you know, they
Jim
went.
Backus's wife.
They went out on a 3-hour tour.
A 3-hour tour.
And they got stranded on a deserted island. It wasn't a desert.
No, it was a
Deserted
deserted island.
Yeah.
Although people always showed up every week.
It's a bit like Lost.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. How do you have guest stars on a stranded on a desert
yeah.
island?
It's a willing suspension of disbelief.
right. And they always managed somehow not to be able to leave with those
And
people.
to go on a 3-hour cruise and end up on a desert island.
With all those clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had multiple changes of clothes, except for the skipper and Gilligan.
Right.
Well, they had a uniform.
Same hat.
So, who is Lovey? Where did she
Lovey
fit in?
is Mrs. Thurston Howell III.
Okay.
That was what her husband
That
called
was
her.
Natalie Schaefer.
Yes, Mrs. Howell was how she was addressed by everyone else.
Everyone called her Mrs. Howell, but
Why
he
did they
called her
call
Lovey. Because that was her name.
Oh, okay.
Mrs. Thurston Howell III.
Because she was aristocratic, you wouldn't call it. They weren't on a first name basis.
Yeah. And so, but he called her Lovey.
Did she even have a first name?
Lovey.
Lovey.
Lovey was her first name.
Was it her first name or
Yeah.
was it
Was it an endearment?
No. Lovey was her first name.
Lovey must have been.
And then there was Mary Ann, you know, the cute country girl
In pigtails.
in pigtails, which eventually went away. And then there was the professor.
Because he could make something out of whatever was on the island.
Yeah, he made stuff out of coconuts and things. And then there was Ginger, the movie star.
Right.
And she always had, you know, long gowns
With sequins.
with sequins.
Lots of
And
Many long gowns.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That she had to take on a 3-hour.
And then of course there was the skipper and Gilligan. That lasted a long time, didn't it? Really, it didn't.
It just seemed like
It just because it went into syndication and has run in syndication since forever. I mean, it was a show that started in black and white and ended up in color.
So it was way back in the 50s.
No.
When did you get color?
No.
It was
60s. It was 60s.
When did color come?
60s.
Mid-60s.
Well,
60s.
my dad got our first color TV before he died. He died
It's like
in
64,
69.
65,
Well, no,
color
we-
TV first came out.
Our next
Became
door,
popular.
Our next door neighbors, when we lived in our old house that we moved out of in 1962, they got a color TV before we moved.
It was a big
But-
deal, and they had the
yeah, but-
round tubes.
But not much was even broadcast
No,
in
there
color.
was nothing
So,
Yeah.
in
the
color.
Rose Parade was broadcast in color.
Yes, I should imagine.
Yes, it was. And we went over and watched it.
But I remember when shows started switching to color.
Now, at the end of the run of Gilligan's Island, did they get rescued, or did it just...
No, the show
I
was
don't remember.
canceled, and they later did several
Oh,
movies
yeah, that's right, they did.
where
some
they were
re-
rescued. But ultimately, they all ended up wanting to go back to the island.
No, that's Lost.
Yeah.
No, that's Gilligan's Island.
Well, Lost is in its final season. Lost